Dear guests, hello and welcome. I'm Batuhan, one of the moderators. Before we start the session, please turn off your microphones. Thank you. We are the members of Democracy University ELT Student Club, and this is our 11th online session. Today's topic is about avoiding plagiarism in academic writing by our precious guest, Associate Professor Dr. SALİM RAZI from ÇANAKKALE 18 Mart University.
Hello again, everyone. I am BEGÜM ATSAN, student of ELT department at IZMIR Democracy University. And let me now give you some brief information about the session. The moderator is Dr. NURDAN KAVAKLI, who is also our academic advisor at ELT department. This session is about 20-25 minutes long, and the QA sessions will be held by QA managers, me and my friend BATUHAN ATEŞ. You may prefer to shoot your questions in chat box, or you may use your mics if eligible. Also, at the end of our session, we will take a family picture. We'll inform you when it's time to turn your cameras on. Now, we would like to kindly invite Dr. NURDAN KAVAKLI to start off the 11th session. Thank you.
Yes, I think there was a problem with someone's mic. Okay, so we are proud to announce that we are just at the middle of our sessions online e-talks. So today we are going to host our 11th invited speaker, who is going to be from ÇANAKKALE 18 Mart University, my dear colleague, Associate Professor Dr. SALİM RAZI from the Department of English Language Teaching. And today we are going to talk about how our students, and we of course, can avoid plagiarism in academic writing. Maybe it is quite obvious that our students are going to render their online assignments for either midterms or their final exams. So it is all, of course, better for us to learn about how you can avoid plagiarism in your assignments, because you are always given the instruction that please do not plagiarize. So let's see what lies behind the term plagiarism. Thank you very much, Mr. RAZI.
Okay, thank you Nurdan Hocam for the lovely introduction, and thank you Begüm and Batuhan also for the introduction. As you have already acknowledged, today we will be talking about plagiarism. I mean, something, a taboo topic for the academia that we usually avoid. Let me share my presentation with you. I'll try to cut it short. I have several examples here, but I just give them to give you some idea most of the time in order to finish within the time limitations. I'll skip some examples, but the presentation will be available for your own record, so you can share it with your students if you like. Okay then. Let's see what we are doing today. First, we will try to agree on the definition of plagiarism. Therefore, we will have the common understanding of what we understand from plagiarism. Then we will see different types of plagiarism and how we avoid plagiarism by blending other sources in academic papers, how we do this, and how we benefit from text matching software. I mean, for example, Turnitin, we consider Turnitin as a text matching software, and how we benefit from the similarity reports. We will have related concluding remarks here. Okay, let's start with a question. In it, it's not face-to-face session, so maybe we won't have a good interaction in order to answer the question. But I ask you, each of you, to visualize what you understand from plagiarism. Think for a while, and then let's talk about it. What do you understand from plagiarism? What is plagiarism to you? Okay. Plagiarism is a broad phenomenon which occurs in many human activities. Do you agree? I hope so. What do you think about this definition? if you're reading such a definition, for example, in an academic paper, or you are attending an academic session here, and you see a definition, what do you understand from this definition? I mean, the origins of this definition. Where does it come from? As an academic, you should have such a question. If you're writing this sentence, is this my own sentence? That is the key question. If you're assigned a paper, then it is going to be the question that you should ask yourself after writing each sentence. Okay, I have a sentence here. Is this my own sentence? What happens if not? Let's continue and see what happens, for example. Is this my own sentence? Now we check it. Plagiarism is a broad phenomenon which occurs in many human activities. And here is an article entitled Plagiarism in Second Language Writing by Pecorari and Patrick. And in this article, as you see highlighted here, you see this expression. What does it mean? It means that I directly copied this expression and pasted it here. Is this acceptable in academic papers? Yes. However, we need to follow some rules to do this. What kind of rules? Let's try to understand. I need to inform myself that I directly copied this information from another source. How do we do this? First and most important thing, use of double quotation marks. Be careful, double quotation marks, not single quotation mark. By the way, I'm illustrating my examples related to APA style. I'm going to mention the other styles also, but since we are addressing ELT department students here, I am accentuating my examples related to American psychological acceleration style. So we'll be using double quotation marks here in order to indicate quotations. You see the first double quotation mark, it shows where the directly copied expression starts, and you see the other double quotation mark, it shows where the quoted expression ends. Is this okay? Okay, seems we did good so far, but we need to do something else. What else do we need to do? Secondly, we also need to add an in-text citation. I mean, we said our readers that, okay, we directly copied this expression from somewhere else, but from where? How do we do this? Again, in APA style, this is a parenthetical citation style. We need to benefit from the author's surname in addition to date of publication. These are two essential things that we need to attach every in-text citation. If you are directly copying from the other sources, thirdly, we also need to mention the page number. So you see the double quotation marks showing here indicating the quoted expression and the introduction part of this quoted expression. According to Pecorari and Patrick, in parentheses, I mentioned date of publication and page number. Now I tell my readers that I directly copied this expression from another source, and this is the basic information about this source. Is this possible to find this source with reference to author's surname and date of publication? No. Then why do we need this information related to in-text citation? Because we will need something else in order to complete our citation. What is this? We are going to add a reference entry into our references. Okay, this is what happens in the text. And once we finish writing our paper, we need to list all the sources that we cited while writing our paper. You see the other details about the source here. We do not provide this detailed information in the text. We only mention the author's surname and date of publication, and if directly copied, page number in the text because it becomes more reader friendly. Now we are done. We are done with a coded expression. Okay, let's carry on. What do we understand from plagiarism? Indeed, we provided some explanation about plagiarism, but we haven't completed our definition yet. I'd like to show you the definition of plagiarism by Teddy Fishman here. Probably it is the best definition of plagiarism. Teddy here refers to 5 different occurrences related to plagiarism. To her, plagiarism occurs when someone uses words, ideas, or work products. Be careful, we don't only say expressions here. This also includes ideas or any other work products. Secondly, attributable to another identifiable person or source. Where does the information comes from? It comes from, for example, here, Fishman, or it comes from American Psychological Association. Could be identifiable with a person or with any source. Thirdly, without attributing to the work to the source from which it was obtained. The key point, without attributing. Of course, we will benefit from the other sources in academic writing. This is the key point of academic writing, but what do we need to do? We need to attribute, we need to acknowledge the original author. Fourthly, in a situation in which there is a legitimate expectation of original authorship. And fifthly, in order to obtain some benefit for students, for example, what might be fit here? The benefit might be passing the classes, passing the exams. So be careful, plagiarism does not necessarily mean that you simply copy sentences and then paste it into your paper. Plagiarism also includes copying the other's ideas. Probably you are familiar with Turnitin. It is one of the text matching software systems. And TÜBİTAK in Turkey provide access, ULAKBİM in other way, provide access to all universities to use their services in order to check similarities. Be careful, Turnitin checks similarities. Turnitin does not check plagiarism. Similarity is not equal to plagiarism. Turnitin will show you, will give you a plagiarism, a similarity index, a similarity report, and then you need to check this similarity report in order to understand whether the matches are due to plagiarism or not. And here you see 10 different types of plagiarism that we find in the relevant literature. Since we have very limited time, I am not going to go into the details of different types of plagiarism, but if you're interested, you can visit this link and then see the examples on Turnitin's webpage. Okay, previously we mentioned the style, and APA, American Psychological Association style, is the style that we will be focusing on here today. However, there will be other styles, for example, Howard style, so it's very similar to APA style. There are some minor issues, both are parenthetical styles. However, MLA could be different from APA and Howard styles, because in MLA style, we'll be benefiting from numbers in the paper, and these numbers will be indicating our intake citations, and they will be matched with the entries in the bibliographia in MLA style. Okay, if you're from another field, maybe you need to consult to your lecturer in order to ensure which style you are using in your field, or you can refer to the instructions here that I provide. As I said previously, blending other sources is the most essential characteristic of academic writing. How do we do this? We have 3 techniques. We have already seen the example of quotations. Now we will see some more examples related to quotations, and then also I'm going to show you some other examples regarding the other 2 techniques, paraphrasing and summarizing. Let's see the first sample quotation. You see the original text here. The original text comes from Alderson. Moreover, what it means to be literate, how this literacy is valued, used, and displayed will vary from culture to culture. This is what we read once we open Alderson's book on page 25. And what do? I want to directly copy this information and then paste it into my paper. What do I need to do? I need to put this into double quotation marks, and then I need to add intake citation. How do I do it here? According to Alderson, I introduced the quoted expression here by using the author's surname, and then in parentheses, I use date of publication in addition to page number. As you see, in double quotation mark, I directly copied the original expression and then paste it here. Am I safe? Yes. Once I add the reference entry, I mean the other details about the Alderson source, I am safe. I can do this in academic papers. However, there are some other ways of presenting quotations. For example, you see 4 examples here. What is the difference? The difference is related to either we are introducing our quotations in an integral way or non-integral way. In the first 3 quotations, we follow an integral method, whereas in the fourth one, we follow a non-integral method. As you see, the author's surname here appears as the subject of the sentence, date of publication and page number, they are in parentheses. And they appear for the quoted expression. In the second example, this time again, the author's surname is one of the components of the sentence. Date of publication, they are before the quoted expression. We provide page number after the quotation. Only the author's surname appears before the quoted expression. Date of publication and page number are provided after the quoted expression. And as you see, all information, including the author's surname, appear in parentheses after the quoted expression. It is non-integral citation type. Okay. The other issue, long quotations or block quotations. What do we mean by block quotations? If the quoted expression is 40 words or more than 40 words, it means that it's a long quotation and you need to present this long quotation as a block, which means as looks like a paragraph. I have one paragraph here, another paragraph there, and in between these 2 paragraphs, I have a block quotation. Do we use double quotation marks for block quotations? No. However, we still need to inform our readers that we directly copied this information. Then, how do we tell our readers that we directly copied this information from another source? We indent. What do we indent? Normally, we indent the first line of each paragraph. However, when it comes to block quotations, as you see, we indent all lines, indent to 1.25 centimeters. All lines must be indented, and after the quoted expression, block quotation, again in parentheses, we need to provide author surname, date of publication, and page numbers. Okay, I move to the second technique. What is this? This is paraphrasing. There are 2 essential things that we need to do for paraphrases. One, restructure. The other one, rewording. We need to change the structure of the original sentence. We need to change the words. However, be careful, we cannot change all words. So what do we change? We need to discriminate technical terminologies from the other words. All the other words need to be replaced with their synonyms. However, technical terms will remain the same. We are dealing with the same expression here again that we already studied for quoted expression in the previous example, and here is the paraphrase version. How do I paraphrase it? Alderson indicates that the meaning of being literate, its appreciation, usage, and demonstration differs in relation with culture. What do? I check the structure of the original sentence and I represented the original structure in another way in the paraphrase expression. I changed the words, but As you can recognize here, I couldn't change all words. For example, you see culture remains the same. Why? Because culture is a key term. Culture is a terminology that I cannot change. However, for all the others, as you see, except from the terminologies, I provided synonyms. And more importantly, as you can recognize here, I use the author's surname in addition to date of publication here in order to inform my readers that this is a quoted expression. If you have difficulty in finding synonyms for paraphrase expressions, this web page could be a good source for you, words and phrase. You can go there and you can type your sentence here in this box. And then once you click search here, then you will see the expressions in different colors. And by clicking on each word, you will see their representation in the corpus. For example, in academic text, how many times it is used in spoken language. And you will also see the synonym alternatives. So it's a good tool in order to practice your paraphrasing skills. And thirdly, we will be referring to summary. Summaries are quite similar to paraphrases. What is the difference? Summaries are and here, this time I summarize. Alderson reveals that being literate differs in relation with culture. I summarize the expression provided by Alderson. But be careful, again, I need to inform my readers that the idea that I present here is coming from another source. How do I do this? By using the author's surname and by using date of publication. If you do not refer to the author, I mean, if you write such a sentence, being literate differs in relation with culture, then your readers will understand that this is an idea which belongs to you. However, this is not the case. The idea is coming from Alderson. Only the sentence here, the grammatical structure of the sentence, it belongs to me. So we need to inform our readers accordingly. Okay, I'm moving to text matching software. Turnitin, or maybe you're familiar with Authenticate. For student assignments, we are using Turnitin. Urkunt also another system, another reliable system. If you check on the internet, you will see many other systems claiming to check text matching, but we need to be very careful about text matching software, especially students sometimes might be anxious about the similarities or plagiarism concerns before submitting their assignments to tutors. So before they submit their assignments on Turnitin, for example, they copy their assignment onto a free text matching software on the internet and try to check. I strongly discourage my students not to do it, because many of these e-tools, free e-tools, are not reliable sources. And some of these tools are working and cooperating with contract cheating companies, SALİM. What does it mean? It means that you submit your assignment and they store your assignment and sell to the other students. So you put your assignment, your original assignments, into risk by doing this. Instead, I would suggest teachers to ask students benefit from revision assignments. Therefore, they can see the failures, if there are any, and then correct in the revision assignments. What do we mean by a similarity report? What happens in a text matching software similarity report? Let's try to understand this. For example, if you are talking about Turnitin, there are 4 repositories of Turnitin. One referring to internet repository, secondly referring to periodicals repository. These are the journals, academic journals. And thirdly, referring to student paper repository. It refers to all student papers, global papers all over the world, millions of papers. And fourthly, there will be an institutional repository So, for example, if you are talking about your university, IZMIR Democracy University repository, which means that all the assignments submitted by these university students will be stored in another documentary. Then once you submit an assignment, what happens? Turnitin algorithms check the assignment against the repositories. And if there are any matches, Turnitin will highlight the matches and tell you that, okay, this sentence or this expression or this phrase in your assignment matches with these already existing documents in our system. Is this a problem? Okay, now you need to check whether this is a problem or not. Be careful, similarity index might be misleading, and I see that many of the students simply depend on the numbers here. For example, once we check the ratio here, Turnitin says that 55% of this assignment match with the other sources. I don't say plagiarism. Turnitin says 55% match with the other sources. So I am going to check whether it is due to plagiarism or not. For example, I am checking the expressions. They are the expressions as in the original version. So what do I recognize? For example, I see some citations, but I see no quotation marks. So the student here does not inform me that she is copying directly from another source. Therefore, is this plagiarism? Yes, but be careful. We decide whether it is plagiarism or not by checking the matches here, not simply by checking the ratio there. In the second example, you see this time 27% of the text matches with the other sources. Is this a problem? Now I check the matches. For example, here's such a match to find out the impact of. Turnitin says that this expression matches with another paper. Is this a problem? No, this is a common expression that we can use in the language. It doesn't require citation. Or it is important to note that Turnitin tells me that this also matches, this expression matches. Is this a problem? No, this is not problem. As you see, all the matches here in this paper are due to language issues. They do not require citation. Therefore, there is no plagiarism in this assignment. It's quite free. I'm going to provide two more examples, this time from reference list. You see a reference list here. And once you upload your assignment to Turnitin, and if there are reference entries, you will see that your reference entries will match. This is quite normal because it means that the source that you are citing and including in your reference entry is already cited by some other people. This is quite normal in academia. This is what we expect. However, there is a problem with the reference list that we have here. What is the problem? I see a single color. What does the single color represent here? It represents that all the matches are coming from a single source. It means that, in other words, the student here simply copied this reference list from another student's paper or from another article. So that is the problem. Instead, the reference list should match something like this. As you see, we will see matches, but in different colors. It means that different papers are citing these papers, but you are the only one who combine all these papers all together. So this is going to be a unique feature of your own paper. And this is the final example. I cannot consider this as plagiarism, but it is not acceptable in academia. What happens here? Quoted expression, another quoted expression, another quoted expression. As you see in this paragraph, the student puts quoted expression and adds them to each other. This is not acceptable in academic writing. Mainly, your readers will expect you to paraphrase them. It means that to criticize the expression that you are citing in your paper. Please avoid this type of academic misconduct as well. And my concluding remarks, plan your writing from the very beginning and adhere to academic writing rules. For ELT students, this is going to be APA style. And you need to blend the other sources, but be very careful about this and follow the appropriate style. And if you have the opportunity, benefit from text matching software similarity reports, but please avoid free text matching software tools that you find on the internet. It could be a good idea to practice your academic writing skills, and I made my academic writing book freely available on my webpage. So if you visit my webpage, you can download the PDF of this book. These are the references. As you see, I cite all the sources and list them here to give you information about these sources, more information about these sources. I'd like to thank you all for your participation, and I'm ready for your questions if you have any.
Thank you very much for this.
Dr. Raza, thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Now it's time for the family photo. So could you turn your cameras on?
First, we are going to take our family photo, then we can have a question because we just have the remaining time is 3 minutes. Okay, so take your seats. I'm going to take the photo right now. Smile. One more time. And the last one. Now, we can have one question, I guess, my dear students.
Yeah, we've got limited time, so we can take a quick question if you have any.
By the way, let me thank Dr. Raza for this very fruitful and informative session, because both our students and also the participants are not only the students, but also I can see some of the academics are here too. So it's very informative for all of us, for all of our participants. Thank you very much for this very fruitful session. I hope we can meet again for another session, maybe for face-to-face interaction. It will be better for us to meet you soon.
After COVID.
Yes, of course.
If you can survive, why not?
Of course.
Yes. We've got a question coming from Berna Uyanık. What are the ways of paraphrasing other than synonym?
For paraphrasing, there are two things, two essential things. What are they? You need to change the structure. And secondly, you need to change the words. If you do not change the structure, probably it will seem like patch writing. Maybe you take a note of this term. Patch writing is a strategy, but is considered also plagiarism, a type of plagiarism, mainly applied by novice authors. What happens in such type of plagiarism? The student changes only very few words, but the structure of the paraphrase expression looks very identical to the original expression. Therefore, it's quite important to change the structure, grammatical structure, and then changing the words. However, please do not touch the terminology. You cannot change terminology.
Thank you, Dr. Raza.
So thank you one more time for joining us and sharing our excitement today. Our special thanks go to Associate Professor Dr. SALİM RAZI, and hope to see you again. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook as EduELT for the updates. Thank you, and bye for now.
By the way, we have two more questions, but we just have less than a minute, so we need to give our concluding remarks. Thanks for your participation and attention one more time. Hope to see you soon. Bye for now.
Okay, bye.
Thank you very much for this informative session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you for the questions.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.